What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Superkin here once again, showing you guys another build video. And basically this build video is exactly the same exact build that I use on the 25 kill solo manhunt. A lot of people were asking me about the build, and basically I wanted to farm enough to make sure this build is perfect, but a lot of you guys did want this video out by Sunday, so here it is. Alright, so this build is not near perfect. I am missing some extra damage. I am missing some critical hit damage on the gloves instead of enemy armor damage, and I'm also missing, you know, a really good knee pad, because this knee pad right over here is not the best, because A, it doesn't have burn resistance, and B, look at that armor roll, guys. 1479. The armor roll is not good whatsoever. So yeah, this is kind of a rushed video, but this build right here is definitely solid. It's definitely really good. So the one thing I would change, well, two things, is get better knee pads and get better gloves with critical hit damage on it. Okay, so yeah, let's start off with the gun. Okay, because the gun is what makes this build actually do damage, because I am using 3-piece tack, right? 3-piece tack with 3-piece gold, and basically 3-piece tactician doesn't offer any damage. It offers survivability instead. So you gotta find something. You gotta find the right amount of firearms and the right talents to make the build do extra damage. So this is it. This is the talents, and this is the gun. I'm using a lightweight M4, and I'm also using adept, deadly, and competent. Okay, and basically what you have to be doing in this build is popping skills frequently. So adept is able to be stacked up to 5 times, right? So you got a total of 37.50 extra critical hit chance with assault rifle with adept, and basically that's gonna be offering you guys a lot more damage. So I'm basically I keep saying basically in every single video, dude. I'm basically making assault rifles hit like consistently like an SMG. Because with SMGs, you know, you get that extra critical hit chance. With assault rifles, you don't. You just get enemy armor damage. So, with 50% skill haste in the build, I am able to prop my skills frequently to be able to stack adept consistently. So, with that being said, I have a total of basically 47.50 critical hit chance in the build, and I'm always consistently hitting competent on the build. And the reason why I want competent over responsive or unforgiving is because I want this gun to be versatile, right? To have versatility, to be able to be used distant, to be able to use in close range, and, you know, medium range as well. So no matter what, I'm always, you know, having that extra 10% boost instead of, you know, me running responsive, where with responsive I have to be within 10 meters. If not, then the talent isn't active. So this is really good to have, in my opinion, for assault rifles. This is basically my opinion of a god roll assault rifle. So make sure you have this talent, because these talents right over here is what's going to be offering you guys the damage. Okay, because without this, there's basically no damage in the build. Okay, that's my opinion. All right, so let's get right into the pieces. Vigorous chest piece, okay, with health, skill haste, and ammo capacity, with some health and skill haste mods. The reason why I have health over here is because I have a total right now of 49% skill haste. 50 is the max, and the reason why I don't have 50% is because, you know, the gloves that I showed you guys earlier isn't max. It's 7% on the gloves, which you can get a total of 9%. So that basically allows me to have a random, you know, mod, and I chose health instead of maybe like skill power or critical hit chance or something like that. So yeah, that is up to you, to be honest. I chose health just because I don't want my toughness to be too low. So yeah, Specialized, I'm using skill power on it with disrupt resistance, and then skill haste mod with some self heal mods as well. Okay, the reason why I chose skill power is because with the 3-piece tactician, it does increase skill power by a total of 10%. So, you know, if I add some extra skill power in the build, you know, it's gonna boost the skill power a little bit more. So that is why I'm running skill power on the backpack. Same thing with the mask. I'm running skill power on the mask, and the mask is refresh mask. And the reason why I'm running refresh is because, like I said in my solo videos, refresh is really important to have when playing solo, just because it adds an extra health, an extra boost of toughness in the build, without really showing in the stats. So all healing is improved by 30% when the last segment. So right now in the build, I have a total of 134,000 health self heal on my booster shot. So 30% of that is around maybe 35,000. So I get an extra 35,000 health in the last segment when I pop my booster, and that also works for things like the box and things like the medkits. So things like that is gonna be helping me survive fights a lot longer than usual than running just tenacious. Okay. And gloves, these are my gloves. It's horrific, I know. Oh, it's not that bad. 994 armor with 1258 electronics, skill haste, the lowest roll possible for the skill haste. It feels really bad. Assault rifle damage and some enemy armor damage in the build. Like I said, I do prefer critical hit damage instead of enemy armor damage. So hopefully I can find one by the end of this week with critical hit damage, because that would make the build so much more better. Alright, so some knee, well, that was a holster. Whoops. Some knee pads. Alright, so 1479 for the armor, which is really low. 1252 electronics with some health, and shock resistance, disrupt, and disorient. So I am looking for a different knee pad as well, okay, in the build. And I prefer shock resistance and fire resistance. Burn resistance, I mean. Okay, and then maybe some disrupt. Okay, the mod. Skill haste with self heal is the mod for the knee pad. And then the holster, 1248, 1261, and 1263 with 937 armor and 7% skill haste, and of course self heal mod. Alright, and the secondary gun that I use for the build, guys, is really important as well. But this is more like a utility tool to use whenever you go in manhunt, solo manhunt. Alright, so talents I have on it is skilled, determined, and talented. So skilled, whenever I kill, you know, an AI with a headshot or even a player, I get an increase 5% in my signature skill. So I can always, you know, I can be increasing my signature resources whenever I kill an AI. Same thing with determined. Determined also works on signature resources. Okay, and then talented, of course. Some people might prefer predatory, so you can get some healing, but I prefer talented just because I want a boost of extra skill power in the build also. Okay. So yeah, so my tip for you guys, I'm not done with the video of course, but I want to let you guys know that the best way to make this build strong is by consistently popping your skills. Because if you're not consistently popping your skills, you're going to be noticing something. You're not going to be doing any damage at all. Well, not at all, but you're not going to be doing as much damage. So what I want you guys to know is that when you make this build, I want you guys to be consistently popping your skills. But don't just pop it all together, right? Just pop it and then maybe wait 10 seconds, then pop your booster, then another 10 seconds, pop your box, and etc. Just try to make it into a habit. That's the thing about this build, is that like you have to be consistently making adept active. Because if you're consistently making adept active, you're consistently making your build strong. And the second you lose adept, that's when your DPS and your damage drops. So this build is kind of tricky, but it's definitely fun, and it's definitely easy to manage when it comes to trying to kill players, just because of the extra skill power. Okay, I just wanted to let you guys know and, you know, get that out there for the players that are trying to build the build right now. Alright, so right over here, the cooldown is 20 seconds on the build, on the booster shot, and 14.8 on the bag. I like running bag instead of maybe pulse, just because, you know, it adds an extra health into my build. And because, you know, whenever you're playing solo, players like to use shock turrets, flame turrets, seeker mines, and etc. So this, you know, helps you a lot more surviving solo than running just, you know, a pulse. Okay, talents are really important, because what I like to run is critical save on this build, because I run different talents for different builds, and what I think is this is, you know, this is right here is the best talent for the talents for the build. Critical save, strike back, attack advance, and precision. Alright, so critical save. Why I use critical save? The reason why is because I'm using refreshed, and basically whenever I pop a medikit with the refreshed, I'm basically at full health. So I'm at full health with 20% resistance, and then I can pop booster shot as well. So I'm a total of 27% resistance at full health, which is kind of cool, to be honest with you guys. And then strike back is gonna be helping me whenever I'm at low health. Attack advance if I've ever want some extra damage. Like I said in my other video on my tips for solo players who go on manhunt, is you want to have attack advance. You want to have some extra damage so you can burst somebody down incredibly fast. So I use attack advance whenever I'm playing solo. If I ever see, you know, a time where I have to be using attack advance, I use it and I burst somebody down literally in a second. And every reaction I get is like, whoa, where did that damage come from? So it's really good to have attack advance whenever you're solo, guys, and try to make that into a habit in solo play, please, because it's literally gonna make your whole build a lot, you know, more fun. Okay, and I use precision because I'm not using pulse. Okay, if you're not using pulse in any of your builds, make sure you're running precision, because that's gonna be offering you guys a pulse into the on the enemy when you shoot him in the head. Okay. Alright, so I didn't show you guys the mods for the gun. That's where I messed up. Alright, so mods for the gun is gonna be critical hit damage on the scope, critical damage on the muzzle, critical damage on the grip, and critical hit chance with rate of fire on the extended magazine. Okay, and let me get to the character sheets. So remember what I said about adept? This is why it's a must to be popping your skills. I have a total of 9% critical hit chance. I can have more, but if I do want more critical hit chance in the build, guys, I'm basically forced to sacrifice skill power and forced to sacrifice either skill haste or critical hit damage, and I don't want to do that. Okay, I want to keep it as it is now, and basically when you stack up your adept, you got a total of 47.50 critical hit chance. Let me show you guys. And my critical damage is gonna be low, like I told you guys, just because I don't have critical damage on my gloves. I think with the critical damage, I'll be at a total of like maybe 115% critical damage, which is really good. 115% critical damage and a total of like 47% skill haste. I'm not skill haste. Critical hit chance. That is strong. That's gonna make my my assault rifle hit like around 18,000, almost 19,000 on each body hit, and then maybe 20 plus. All right, so that's 3 times, right? That's 1, 2, 3. Yes, 3 times. So let me pop it 2 more times, then I'm gonna show you guys the critical hit chance in the build. Okay. So yeah, whenever you're fighting players, you want to be consistently looking at your talents, not your talents, the hub or whatever, and basically you want to make sure and you want to be timing it correctly. It's not that hard. Once you know you start using this build, and like the first 10 minutes it might be a little bit hard and annoying, but trust me, once you start using this build more and more and more, you know, it's gonna become a habit to be popping skills. All right, I think that's 5, right? Let me try one more time just in case. All right, so this is it. All right, so this is the max, 46.50, not 47. All right, so 46.50 with an assault rifle. That is high as hell. Having 46.50 critical hit chance with an assault rifle, and then pulsing somebody with precision, that is a total of 60. That is a max of 60 critical hit chance in the build. And then once I have that extra critical hit damage, hopefully by the end of this week, like I said, I'm gonna be hitting players consistently for around 18k. Almost 19, I think I said. Whatever, 18k, let's just say 18. I'm gonna be hitting players consistently 18k, because right now I'm hitting players for 16,000, almost 17, and I need that extra damage of critical damage to be hitting players for that high. All right, so let's get right into the skills right over here. Skill haste 49%. The reason why it's 49% instead of 50 is because I have the lowest roll for skill haste on my gloves. I have 7% instead of 9%. So yeah. And then the health, 188,000 health, which is, for some people it might be bad. You can increase your health if you want to. You can either sacrifice DPS or sacrifice skill power, but I prefer having it this way because I am using booster shot, and booster shot is gonna make my health a little bit more tankier, and I'm also using vigorous, so I am gonna be getting an overheal, so I am a little bit more tankier than what the sheet says over here. Okay, 31.69 armor, which is not the best. I want to be above 32, and that is because of these knee pads, man. These knee pads are so bad. All right. So yeah, guys, this is pretty much the build. This is a really solid build for players that have trouble going solo, players that basically don't rely on just damage but want to rely on more of a skill power. So this is more for you guys because I have two different solo builds right now. I have one for, you know, my all gold build with damage, and then now I have this one for a skill power. So there's two different ways to play the game, guys. This is two different, you know, type of players right now, right? This is more towards the players that need skill power to survive, and then the other one is more towards the players that need damage to survive. Okay, all right, guys, so this is pretty much it. This is pretty much the build. Hopefully you guys like it. Please give me a like on the video if you guys do like it. If you guys have any comments, please write it down below, because I do like to reply to every one of you guys, and I do like to, you know, to converse with you guys. This is interesting what you guys say in the comments all the time. All right, guys, so thank you so much. Subscribe to me because I am making build videos literally almost frequently. I am making montages, maybe, you know, some commentaries about, you know, tips here and there, and so on, guys. Alright, so thank you so much for watching, guys. I am going to be doing another build video. I should be doing another build video on my alpha one, but that's still not done yet. Alright, guys, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Later.